It's now official. Chris Ruddy says I can talk about it. My new show, Gorka Reality Check, on Newsmax, starting next Sunday. Be there, America.
I love it. I will be there. But first, I want to get your reaction to one of our favorites here, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
Is the tone going to change out of the White House? Or
the tone for a bill that limits voting access and makes it more difficult for people to engage in voting in Georgia?
No, that's actually not what the governor of Georgia has said.
Well, I think that is not based in fact what the governor of Georgia has said. So, no, our tone is not changing.
Your thoughts to that,
dear.
Doctor?
Jen Psaki lecturing somebody on what the facts are. She is, she'd be dangerous as a propagandist if she wasn't so ineffectual and so bad. Let me circle back. How many times have we heard her say, let me circle back? And these snarky kind of high school cliquey little comments of hers. Oh, really? Well, we don't agree. Come on. The fact that this woman was the State Department press secretary in a past life, and she's still so bad. She's just a chief propagandist, but she's a very poor propagandist. So she's amusing, basically.
Well, yeah, we all know that those press conferences, those briefings are amusing for sure. We never know what she's going to say or not say. Dr. Gorka, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. The Washington Post gave President Joe Biden 4 Pinocchios over his Georgia election law, says Biden falsely claims the new Georgia law ends voting hours early. Get your reaction to that.
Yeah, coming from a guy who goes to bed early because he needs to, it's not a surprise he doesn't know anything about this law. The fact is the Georgia law extends voting hours for people in Georgia. It is a perfect example of how much they lie straight to your face. Whether it's anything to do with the COVID relief bill, anything to do with the border, whether it's their insanity of injecting political correctness into the military. The ground rule is, I take this from my colleague at Salem, Dennis Prager, whatever they're saying, it's probably the opposite of what they're saying. That's a good rule for listening to this administration. They are purely lying to America's face. And the Georgia bill is a great one. We need 50 bills like that across America. And we mustn't have the federalization of elections. The Constitution is clear. It is the states and it is the state houses that have the constitutional mandate to run elections in America. And that is exactly what we need reasserted before the next election next year. And definitely before 2020, when my old boss and Andrew's old boss, Donald Trump, is very likely to be the man.
You could say if he gets another chance, he's going to knock it down the park, which will allow me to shift to the next thing that I want to ask you about. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game being moved from Atlanta. What are your thoughts? You could see the quote up here on your screen now. What are your thoughts on Major League Baseball moving their draft and their All-Star Game from Atlanta?
Well, despite having to play cricket and rugby as a kid in the UK, I'll tell you this, whether it's soft drinks from Coca-Cola, whether it's Major League Baseball, I, as an American citizen now, I have a very simple request to the sporting world and to the corporate sector. Entertain me and make good products at good prices. Keep your stinking politics to yourself. Keep your virtue signaling to yourself. And if you want to go woke, guys, you're gonna go broke. We've seen it with Star Wars. We've seen it with all of them. Go ahead, guys. We're just gonna go somewhere else for our entertainment and our products, and you will die on the vine.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you mentioned Coke and Delta, right? They're reversing course because they oppose these Georgia election laws. When did companies and sports teams start getting in politics? Do you think they just were scared that, the consumers or their fans would ban them because they don't agree with politics? When did this, how did this happen?
It has nothing, Alison, nothing to do with the consumers. The consumers want to consume products, not be preached at. It has to do with all the millennials who earned these garbage, irrelevant degrees like intersectionality and gender studies, couldn't get real jobs, and ended up in the HR departments. They've become the wokerati, and they are the funnel for political correctness into these corporations who are afraid of being bilked, are afraid of being, having the ethno-hucksters,
We may have lost Dr. Gorka there. He's got the best voice in the business, and he was absolutely right. I've looked at it this way. If Major League Baseball wants to kneel, if they want to protest, they have the First Amendment right to do that. But as consumers, we have the First Amendment right to take our discretionary income elsewhere. So, Dr. Gorka, you're back. We got about 30 seconds. Finish that thought.
Only has nothing to do with you or me or consumers. This has to do with the politically correct people who are running the HR departments and the government relations departments. They're afraid of getting blackmailed by organizations like BLM or Antifa. Yeah. And they're also being run by people who say, you've got to go woke. You've got to go woke. It's a small fraction of America with the loudest voices.